Hello, good morning, welcome back to the Fish Locker out on the boat. Out early doors on the boat. See, sun's just cracked the horizon over there. We have a beautiful morning this morning, but it hasn't been lately. This is like the calm bit. We've had horrendous weather, pouring down with rain and blowing a gale for a week. Nice today, and then goes poor again tomorrow. So I have got everything. I have got every type of rod, every rig, every bait, everything. I'm going to do it all today. Fingers crossed. I'm planning on doing a little bit of lure fishing, and then when the tide slackens off, put the anchor down on a wreck. I've got a shark rod with me, and then on the way home, maybe even fish with some lures over a reef. Yeah, I've got it all. Cover all my bases today. Let's go. It's not quite what we're after. Yeah, this is the this is the awkward time of year where all the bait fish disappears. We have no mackerel, no scad. The whiting haven't arrived yet. Yeah, we really struggle for bait fish. Fortunately though, we've had a really good winter and I've still got a little bit of mackerel in the freezer. So I have got some frozen bait with me today. Brought some mackerel and some squid. A period of time when all the algal bloom comes in. Like, depending when the sun comes out. Sometime in May, like all the way through June and into July, usually we have a really bad algal bloom. And the mackerel tend to disappear just after Easter. Don't come back until July. Give this a little bounce. I was just steaming along and I saw a patch on the seabed and I thought I'd stop for it. It's probably going to be like miniature sand eels. Ideally you want fresh bait, but frozen will do the job, and also frozen will catch you more bait. When I get onto the wreck, when I get anchored up, or I might even try drifting it depending what the conditions are like when I get there. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I'll fish with like baited feathers and try and catch some pouting, and then I can use the pouting to catch the ling. Giving up now, is it a wrasse? Ah, no, yeah. Female cuckoo wrasse. Let's get a drop back. Let's move on somewhere else. Oh. No matter how many times you see them guys, it always brightens your day. What's frustrating here is I've come past 3 wrecks and all of them have got fishing gear on them. Tell that by. See them pink enders there? Whole wrecks surrounded by them. And you shouldn't be netting the wrecks, because there's a commercial prohibition on landing pollock at the moment. I know the guy who's doing it as well, and he'll be fishing it under the guise of saying that he's targeting something else. On the smaller tides they can get away with putting their nets around the wrecks. It just means that they end up killing everything that's on the wreck, and also losing part of their net in the wreck half of the time, which is how you end up with, it's called ghost fishing. Still quite a bit of plankton in the water, isn't there?
Find somewhere else to play the game on nets on there.
You're netting this wreck?
I've got nets on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my job, isn't it?
To net the wrecks?
It's my job.
While there's a prohibition on pollock at the minute. I said I know what you're allowed to catch and I know what you aren't at the minute.
84.5 kilos a month pollock. And that's as a bycatch.
I know. And you know yourself that all the wrecks at the moment are full of pollock. You're going to end up catching more than that.
Been like that for years.
Yeah. So it's surrounded a wreck in John Dory nets and sole nets. When we all know that the wrecks are absolutely laden with pollock at the minute. go somewhere else. We'll see. This is a this is a new slow pitch jigging rod that I bought while I was out in Florida. It's just a battalion slow pitch. It's my fathom low profile. It's a lovely setup to use. Oh, not what I wanted. The pouting coming in backwards. There was absolutely no fight in it at all. It was just over. And I was thinking, oh God, let it be a John Dory. This time, it's a pouting backwards. It's as if it's been sent to me today to test me. Last drop. Last drop. Before I just decide to get where I'm going. There's a wreck that I've had my eye on for a while. And it's a good ways away. It'll be like a 2 fuel can type of day. But hopefully, because it's so far away, it means that people don't go to it. So there should be some fish on it, fingers crossed. Unless some other mad bugger like me has had that same idea and thought, I don't mind travelling 80 mile in a day to go to a wreck. John Dory is a delicious, delicious eating fish. One of the best. Pouting are not. Pouting are pretty much just good for bait. They're good to use to catch to something else, whether that be a ling or a conger, or a little pouting are brilliant for live baits for bass, or I use them in the pots as well. Keep a couple of half a dozen to use for a wrecking session like this, and whatever I don't use to catch fish I will try to use to catch lobsters. Yeah. This wreck has definitely got enough pouting on it. That's enough of that. I'm halfway where I wanted to be. I thought I'd give this wreck a little try. I've steamed a bit of a zigzag. The wreck that I'm wanting to is a long way off. I've, like I say, I'm about 2/3 of the way there, halfway there. And I've tried 4 wrecks. One since that last one, and there was gear on it again. So, yeah. This one is a smaller wreck. On these small tides like this, you're not really fishing for pollock. You're not really standing much of a chance of catching pollock on the wrecks. But you can catch what else lives there. You can catch ling on slow jigs, you can catch John Dories on slow jigs, catch cod on slow jigs. You can catch the odd pollock, but you don't catch them as much. Generally you need a little bit of tide moving for pollock. Oh. It is good fun, this little slow pitch jigging rod. I'd like to see how it behaves when I get a decent fish on it. Get like a 15-pound ling or a 10-pound pollock on it, I'd like to see how it bends. Big fat pouting. Cracking bait, but not what I'm after. it's a good sign. I mean, all of what I'm doing, it's all groundwork for like the next time I'm coming. Because all these wrecks that I'm trying have got good heads of pouting on them. They will have a good head of fish on it. So anchoring up on this little wreck here might be worth it for ling and conger. Because ling and conger eat pouting. That's a heavy fish. Oh, that is a heavier fish. Yeah, well, I found something a little bit better. And I tell you what, put a lovely bend in the rod. We're fishing in 85 metres of water. So you've just got to hope that the hooks are into it nicely. Because it does feel like a lump of a fish. Like I said, this is the first decent fish that I've had on this little slow pitch jigging rod, so I don't even know how well it'll handle it. I mean, it might it might only be a 4-pounder, but I tell you what, it's bending nicely. Oh, I tell you what, it does look like a ling. Doing a last ditch bid for freedom now. I tell you what, that isn't a bad ling. That isn't a bad ling for this. Swing you round. Yes! Perfect. There's the jig in its mouth. Whoop. There's the ling. And that was on. Brilliant. That is a 100 gram battalion slow pitch with a fathom low profile. 20 pound braid. That is a homemade slow pitch jig from a friend of mine up in Scotland. And that is a clonker of a ling. So yeah, I'm glad I gave this one a try. Beauty of a fish. Oh, it's just in shadow, isn't it? There we go. I'll get this guy dispatched and bled. That's cheered me up no end. I had it on the best setup as well. I had it on a cracking little setup. Yeah, this is a very nice whippy setup for doing that on. That was it. I mark this wreck off as a prospect to explore more. Let's go. We have made it. We are all the way off the bottom of the map. Yeah, I've made it to the wreck that I wanted to try, and we are out of sight of land. Out of sight of the most southerly point in the UK. So yeah, we are right out there. In 92 metres of water. Ooh. A couple of bits of swell out here. I don't know if you can see it. There's no chop at all, but there's still a little bit of residual swell. Hit a couple of big ones on the way out. I wasn't paying too much attention. Really shook my fillings clear. all I'm doing this first step, we're drifting at 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 0.4. We're drifting between a half and a knot. It's not very fast, which is good. What I'm going to try first is I'm going to try drifting this wreck. I put a slow jig down again, just to chance my arm, just because I'm feeling it. We'll try drifting it with a slow jig. We're picking up pouting, brilliant, because that means that there's going to be ling there. If I pick up a ling, even better. It's a win-win. Yeah, this it's a big wreck in deep water that hopefully doesn't get fished very often. After I've finished this drift with this slow jig, is I'm going to rig up a like a wrecking rig. I'll show you it all before I put it down, but I'm going to fish with a big bait, try and pull a ling out. Oops. That's a fish. Oh, it's a decent sized one as well. Doesn't want to come up. Oh. Fantastic. Oh, I'm in my element. Where are we? Yeah, we're not bad. I was concerned because, like I say, this is a strong fish. This is going to want to go back. It's going to want to fight back to the bottom. If we'd have been right in amongst like the biggest, heaviest bit of the wreck, there's a chance that because this is only a light rod and a little reel, they would have been able to fight its way down into the wreck and I would have lost it. But as it is, we've just skimmed down the edge of it. So fingers crossed we aren't too much in the danger zone. This is brilliant fun. Fishing light like this. Oh. Slow down. It's timing it right. I mean, these swell, they might not look it, but I keep losing sight of the horizon. I'm just shy of 6 foot and I'm a foot off the water. So that means that these swells are 7 to 8 feet. So every time the boat goes up over one, it means that I'm pulling this fish 7 or 8 feet up in the water really quickly. And every time I go down one, I'm potentially creating slack line. So you need to know when to gain line and when to let it take line. A little baby ling. Oh. Still big enough for a fillet though. There's the jig. Now this here, I did bring that ling up relatively quickly. So that blister that you saw sticking out here, this here was its swim bladder blowing inside of it. Now that is still a fine sized ling to take to eat when you get dispatched and bled. This little barbel here, right on the bottom of its chin, shows it's part of the cod family. But yeah. First drift, brilliant. Ah, I've got a slow jig in my neck. You know, I advocate the dispatching and bleeding of fish. Now, whereas I can't really show you in the videos because I know that some of my viewers don't want to see that. If you don't want to know how that we do it, just Google Ike Jimmy, depending how you pronounce it. That'll show you. But yeah, the slow jig is nailing it today. What I will do is, yeah, I will go back through. In fact, yeah, I'll go back through with a slow jig and then I'll put a bait down. Why not? I'm having fun. I'll do my best to try and position the boat so that the sun is behind the camera, but it's got a mind of its own. Does seem to be a little bit of size to this wreck. Like some of them you can find, they've been almost completely covered in sand, so it's just like a very gradual just bump. The other ones it's almost like a straight square. This one does seem to have quite a bit of feature to it. It's not a bad thing. It does mean it will be a snaggy wreck though. We'll just have to just do what we can. Oh, a lot of pouting on this drift. Drifting over a different part of the wreck. I'm about 15 metres away from where I drifted the first time. I am going to go and put a bait on. I'm going to put a pouting bait on. I'm going to take a fillet off the side of a pouting and put it on a big one hook wrecking rig and drift through and see if I can't pick a ling up. I'll give it a couple of drifts doing that and see how it's fishing. And then if the drift's consistent, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the anchor down. I'm going to fish back into this wreck, because that way I can put a shark rod out as well. Yeah, you going back? Oh. Yeah. It's done well, but I'm going to put it away. All I've got is a little tackle box with all the bits and pieces I'm going to need for the day. So I've made up at home a load of wrecking rigs that I just keep in a wallet here. I've got some wrecking rigs, I've got some conger rigs, I've got some leaders, and generally like some bits of odd hooks. So I'm not carrying a massive tackle box with me, I'm just carrying exactly what I need. And a bit of spares as well, so I can knock some stuff up if I need to as I'm doing it. Still trying for that pouting. The rig that I'm going to be using is one of my one hook wrecking rigs. There it is. And I'm fishing it with a weak link to the lead just because this is quite a snaggy wreck. I think that's a 12 or a 14 or. And all I've done is I've just taken part of a fillet off a pouting. I'll just put that through a couple of times. Big baits for big fish. In fact, might even stick a little teaser on there as well. Like that. The rod that I'm using is a Penn Regiment 3 solid carbon. It's a 20-30 and it's a Finnor Marquesa 16. Been searching for these for absolutely ages, like months and months. I hadn't been able to find any. And yeah, I ended up buying a replacement reel, and the guy at the shop, I know him, he's Ross Johnson. He contacted me and just said, "Oh, give me a ring." Managed to find one for me, so I am absolutely over the moon. I am very, very happy with this reel. Been using Marquesas for the best part of 8-10 years. I don't know how we're going to lay, if we're going to swing or not. Try and hold us back a bit from. Shows you how deep it is. It's still going. Just drag like. It's all right. I'm just tagging the bottom, just feeling it as we're drifting through. Because when we start coming up to the wreck, I'm going to need to hold it up over the snags. We are in amongst it, we are in amongst the rough stuff. So this type of fishing, it's close quarters combat. You need to be hard on them And you are going to lose fish and you are going to lose gear. It's just the name of the game. Oh, there's a nice bite. Give it a couple of seconds. You still there? Oh, yep, you are. Like I say, it's close quarters fishing. When you're right in amongst the roughest stuff of the wreck, first 10, 12 feet to get it up out of the wreck are crucial. Because if it tries to go back in the wreck, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your gear as well. That is a nice ling. That is a nice ling. There you go. And unfortunately the sun is the sun is right behind us. There you go. That's what I was talking about barotrauma. That's the pressure change in the depth. This is a nice, maybe shy of 10. I'll give you 8. Get it dispatched. The thing you need to be mindful of when you're handling ling like that is ling have got really sharp teeth. They've also, in amongst all their gills, you'll see when I lift fish out, put my hand up inside the gill cover. Now, my fingers don't come in contact with the gill membranes until the fish thrashes its head like that. And ling have got really sharp gill rakers, and that's what happens. Yeah, it's had me. Saying that, I think in the battle, I think he come off worse than I did. But yeah, his gill rakers have had me up. The rig, as I showed you before, well, you saw everything from me dropping it down to me hooking the fish. Yeah. Like I'd said, the pouting are down there, the pouting are present on the wreck. So that's the fish that they're used to eating. So I used a piece of pouting so that the pouting aren't going to eat it. And in case I got stuck in the bottom, I've got a rotten bottom on the lead. Go around and give that another drift. Yeah, same again, just exactly as we have done. I'm going to even go down with the same bait just to see if I can try it. That's not bad. I'm going to try and lay the boat the other way around this time to see if it does, but all boats like to lay a certain way. Normally when I'm wrecking, if I'm heavy duty wrecking, if I'm going congering, I'll use a 30-50. I have got my 30-50 down here. I didn't know what the wreck was going to be like. When I'm drifting over a wreck and I can play fish above it, like ling, I'll try and get away with a 20-30. When I'm anchored up into it and there's a chance of big congers, really need to go up the 30-50, the heavier rod, just so you've got more backbone in the rod to try and pull the fish out. Close. Got a piece of the wreckage come up then. Come up and met me. Now what I'm doing is I'm just tagging the bottom every now and again with the lead. Just feeling out for where it is. So that if I drop down to there and I hit the bottom, and the next time I drop down and hit the bottom and it's here, I know the wreck's coming up. Whereas if I drop down and I hit the bottom, and the next time I drop down and I don't hit the bottom, I know that the wreck's going down, so I need to let a little bit of line off. When you're conger fishing, conger can be anything from like a whack to like a real sensitive mouthing of the bait. Generally with a ling, you know you've got a ling bite. I think I've got a little one chasing this. Keeps ragging the bait and it just, yeah, look like that. Oh no. That was lucky. That was lucky. You don't know what part of wreckage it could be. It could be all the railings, it could be the scaffolding, it could be any odd bits of wrought iron. But the bits that I'm banging into now, there's a lot of up and down, and it's a lot of catchy bits. There's every chance what might have happened here is them bites that we were having before, that little fish that was chasing it, it's pulled all the bait off the hook. Because we haven't had any bites for a while now. Someone has picked this up on the way up. I just turned the camera off and I just said, "How are you?" I said, "Oh no, we'll pack up and we'll come round again." I was just winding up to the surface and someone's picked this up on the way up. Now normally I would say that would be a pollock or a coalfish or something, but I'm not sure. I've maybe only got 10 wines. Well, I never. That was a complete fluke. That there. That's a nice pollock, that. But yeah, that was a complete fluke. And I don't mind saying it. Look, there's the hole. The fact that he'd managed to take what looks like a clean muppet. And like I was saying, that ling had probably, that little ling, had probably scoured the bait off. So all I've been doing is winding this up to the surface and this pollock's taking it. And the hook was that big, look. It's opened up that much of a hole in his lip. So if I'd give him any slack, he would have been off. Yeah, there's a lovely bonus pollock. There we go. Take another bit off the pouting. Put a longer bit through twice. And then a little flappy bit. There, look. At the moment I'm using I think this is a 12-ounce lead. Whoa. When I go and put the anchor down, I might be able to get away with an 8. For anybody worried, concerned, interested, I've been wearing like a full-on life jacket and it's just getting a bit hot. So what I've got is I have a life jacket that fits around your waist. Here. So I am still wearing one. It's called a Spinlock Alto. It's here. Oh dear. Found a snag. See if I can't back it out with the engine. I haven't even started on the wreck yet. I'm about 20 feet in front of it. So it must just be a little tiny piece of debris. Yeah, it was just a lead. All I've done there, look, this is why you have a rotten bottom on, because all that's happened now is I popped the lead off. It was the lead that was stuck. Put a glove on, give it a little bit of a pull, and all that's happened is the weak link has broken out on the lead. There, look. There, look, all that's happened here is the weak link's broke. Still got the rig back. So all I'll do is I'll just tie new lead on there and he's ready to go. But yeah, when the hook's stuck, you can usually feel a bit of banging. You can feel the lead still moving. When the lead's stuck, it's just solid, like it's jammed in. So yeah, all you have to do there is just a little bit of patience, get your hand on it and just pull it. Sometimes you can free it up and other times you just snap it off and just tie another one on. I don't drift wrecks so much for ling, just because you do stand a fair chance of losing gear, and I don't really like losing gear. Must be the Yorkshireman in me. You lose less gear generally to the wreck when you're anchoring on it, because you anchor up tight of it and you trot your baits back and you draw the fish out of the wreck. Whereas now I'm drifting my gear right through it. Let's go and put the anchor down. Yeah, the anchoring, shooting and hauling your anchor is pretty much the most dangerous part about what I'm going to be doing today. So I think I might put my other life jacket on as well. There you go. She's pulled tight now. So all I need to do is I just need to let it off this back cleat here. And the boat will swing round. On like a calm day to day, when I haven't got an awful lot of tide, this is the simplest and quickest, easiest, the absolute way to do it. If I was in a lot of tide, it can be a bit dodgy anchoring up back to front. But yeah, we're not in those conditions today. It's like glass. Right, I'll give that a go for 10 minutes. It all just depends on which way the boat wants to lay. I mean, at the moment we're anchored up. We are 20 metres up tide of the wreck. So if you can see them, probably them seagulls that are sat over there, they're probably sat right above it. But that's fine, because we're in, like I said, we're in 90 metres of water. So by the time we've dropped our baits down, they might have covered 10 metres. We'll give it a try. The heavier setup, it's just a heavy running ledger rig with a pouting head on it. As it was, this section of the wreck turned out to be covered in old fishing nets and rope. 3 sets of gear straight into it. Nothing to do but to move. Christ. Tell you what, my knots are strong. Okay, if I can show you. See all the big chunks of orange on there? That's all clumps of that algae. Really thick around here. This is how much algae there is. There, look. Just reeled this up from the bottom, and that is the collection of algae on line. And the line is, majority of it is less than 0.3 mils. It's collecting that much. So it's going to be absolutely thick with it down there. Well, we have been sat for half an hour. I finished having my sandwiches. We haven't had a sniff, a bite, a knock, nought. We haven't had any interest on the bait at all. The shark bait or the bait on the bottom. I honestly don't know what to tell you. Since the tide has turned around, tide's been running in the other direction for about an hour. And there is a lot more algae in the water, so I'm inclined to say that that's possibly it. So what I'm going to do is, all the fish that were caught earlier that were bled, I have in here. I'm going to gut and prep all those and put them in fresh water. And then after I finish doing that, if we haven't had another bite from there, we're going to up the anchor and we're going to go tight and short. I'm going to fish with lures over a reef. Maybe try and winkle out a bass. Probably going to be some ballan wrasse involved. thrash around inshore. I'm going to call Ballan Wrasse. A lovely chunky specimen. Yeah, just the way that it was hanging down there, just snipping, and then ran for the bottom. This is, you can see where they got all that power from, can't you? With that monstrous tail and these two big fins here. I'm going to lay out flat. Beautiful looking fish. Right, yeah. Have we not just had this guy a second ago? The tide's just too slack in here. Nothing I can do about it. Try one more little piece of reef on the way home. I've got a lot of filleting to do. Another wrasse. Nice one though. A nice wrasse. A very nice looking one. He has mullered that lure. Why is it? It's all stable until I try and... There you go. Look. But that lure is right in there. That is a gorgeous looking fish. All them spots on its tail and the colours underneath there are just wicked. I do enjoy catching these guys. Calm yourself down. Just knock it off. There you go. Oh, nearly bent the hook out. Yeah, there is so little tide that I don't think we're going to catch anything else other than Ballan Wrasse. Yeah, the fishing on the reef is not going to have its day. Currently drifting at 0.1 knots. It's a good job I did alright drifting on the wrecks then, isn't it? Oh, hello. Oh, he's found himself a snag. Got him. It's a big Ballan Wrasse this. They just run straight for the kelp. Oh, this is a big one. In fact, I don't know if this is the one that we've just put back. I don't know if this is the one that we've just returned or if it's a different one. It looks quite similar. You see them teeth in there. It's for crushing little crabs and limpets and barnacles and things. They are just stunning. There we go. Lower's out. Ballan Wrasse is back. And because I'm only catching him in 14 metres of water, they have no problem going back. Let's go. Right, I've made it in. That was a long steam. We did go a long way. That was a lot of empty fuel cans today. Yeah, but it was worth it. I'm glad I got a chance to try it. I've been keeping an eye on that wreck for a while. It didn't fish very well at anchor, but it fished well on the drift. I wouldn't have known that without doing it, so I'll know for next time. We did get 3 nice ling and a bonus pollock as well. Now this is normally where I would show you a filleting demo, but I forgot my stand at home, so you're just going to have to settle for a magic trick instead. And there you go. Pollock fillets, ling loins, ling tails. That was a bit of a chore. Ling skin, unfortunately, is that tough. You just have to keep resharpening the knife every 5 minutes. But yeah, I am very, very pleased with that. It's all been filleted, V-boned, so there is no bones, no mess in any of it. That is going to feed the family very, very well. Seagulls have had a little bit of a feed as well. I've got half the seagulls in Cornwall around me. I hope you've enjoyed joining me. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.